This video is going to cover how to create patterns in Photoshop. The first thing you want to do is in Blackboard, click on the demo files link and then scroll down to where it says patterns. Right click on the zip file and save it to your computer. Right, there's multiple different files in here. This is just kind of showing you different patterns that were created. So we are going to be putting different patterns on the jacket, and you can see what those patterns started off with on the left. So we're going to start by opening up the jacket inside of Photoshop. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is make a selection of the jacket. You can use whatever selection method you want. For this one, I'm just going to use the quick selection tool because it actually does a pretty good job at getting the jacket. So I'm going to make a selection of it. And then just to make sure the quality is good, I'm going to go out and choose select and mask. I can see that does not look too pretty. Clean this up some. Maybe smooth it just a tiny bit. You don't want to use smooth too much because it will take your corners and it will round them out. Okay, pull in the shift edge, increase the contrast. Something like that should be fine, especially for this just being a pattern. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Okay, so the first thing that I am going to do is make a new layer, and I'm going to call this PS pattern, meaning that this is a Photoshop pattern. And then I'm going to go up and choose Edit, Fill, and then in the Fill dialog box, I'm going to choose Pattern. And then you're going to see all the different patterns here that you can use. There's even more if you click on the pattern menu icon, and you can go to import patterns, and it can give you more patterns if you have any saved to your computer. By default, they're probably all shown here. If you just look, you can see there's trees and grass, water, all kinds of just crazy different things. And I have some that I have added in, and I'm going to show you how to make your own as well. So just go ahead and choose any one that you want. Which one do I want here? I'll take this one. Okay, so I'm going to choose that one and then hit OK. And obviously that blending mode doesn't look right. So if I change it to multiply, multiply is going to take all the white and get rid of it. So you can kind of go down through these and see like overlay and soft light kind of look all right. I think I like multiply the best. And then you could always go in and change the opacity. So this is just a really quick way to add a pattern to, in this case, to this jacket. There are other ways that you can add patterns, but what I want to do is show you how to make your own. So I'm going to make a new document. I'm going to go to File, New. And for this one, I want the resolution to be a little bit higher, so I'm going to make the resolution 150. And I'm going to set my units of measurement to inches, and I'll make this 5 by 5. The size doesn't matter, just keep in mind that the larger the size is from the beginning, the more you're going to be able to expand this. Alright, so here is my pattern. So go ahead and put any design on this that you want, keeping in mind that because it's a pattern, if something goes off of the screen, let me just show you, if something goes off the screen on this side, then it has to be on the screen on this side as well. Alright, or else you're going to get like an odd seam and you're going to be able to tell that it was, it's not going to repeat well. Alright, so I'm actually going to undo that because I don't want those in here. So I'm just going to kind of make some crazy, silly, no meaning design in here. There we go. Alright, that's my design. Yay. Alright, so now I'm going to go up and choose Edit, Pattern. And by the way, you could put text in this too. So you could do a text, you could put an image in here. Just remember that If anything goes off of the edge, it needs to come back on the opposite side. All right, there's my pattern. I'll hit OK. All right, so go back to Photoshop, and just to show you, right, I don't want the brush anymore, just to show you that you can use those patterns. Another way that you can do that pattern is to come down here and click on the adjustment layer icon, and you're going to see that one of your options is pattern. And usually it is going to select your pattern by default. If it doesn't, then you can just click on this arrow and find it. Right, I'm going to scale this because even at 100%, it's pretty large. And then you can even click and drag in here and kind of move it around. So that's kind of nice too. So I'll hit OK, and then same thing, I'm going to come in, do overlay. Okay, this is a hideous jacket, but you can at least see, I'm going to name this my own pattern. You can at least see how you can start to layer these if you want. Okay, the next thing that I want to show you how to do is to make a pattern based off of a script. So what I'm going to do is make a new layer, and I'm going to hide, actually, you know what, let's do this. Let's just, let's make a new document, and we can just keep these same settings that we had before. That's fine. I am going to use a new image to make this pattern. So I have an image that has just this plank of wood texture on it, and I am going to use this first one to make a pattern. So I'm going to do File, Open, and actually I'm going to open up both of them. So I'll just do both of them. Alright, so here's this one. I'm going to go to Edit, Define Pattern, and it sees the plank wooden texture. I'll hit OK. And then there's this one, and so I just went up to the plank wooden texture 2 image, and I'm going to go to Edit, Define Pattern, and I'm going to call this one Vertical or Vert, just so that way I know it's up and down. And then I'm going to close them. Okay, so here's something that you can do, and I'm just going to put it on its own layer. You can go up to Edit, Fill, and then we did Pattern before, but let's choose Script. And I'm going to click on here and find the wooden plank. It's usually at the bottom, so I'll choose the horizontal one first. And then if I choose Brick Fill and hit OK, look at this option that I get. So you actually can make these really neat and interesting and random patterns using a script fill. You want to put spacing between it? Look at that. That could be kind of interesting, right? You want to change the offset, so kind of like how they're staggered. You want to make the color more random. Okay, or do you want to keep it kind of neutral, kind of not neutral, but the original color? Brightness, you want to rotate it at all, you can do that. So many different things that you can do with this. So I don't want the spaces. All right, and then I'm going to hit OK, and then look at that, it just fills it for you. Kind of nice. All right, I'm going to undo, show you a few more. So Edit, Fill. Okay, so what else do we got? Let's do Symmetry Fill. Okay, and then you get this. So this could be kind of cool, right? Oh, look at that. Right, so you can get so many different options from this, and I point this out because I think this could make for some really neat backgrounds. Like, I wouldn't leave it 100% opacity, but you could definitely do something with this and lower the opacity a lot and get some really neat effects with it. So, okay, so there's that one. Another one that's kind of cool is the spiral. Right, random just makes it like those things are just kind of like thrown on there. Cross weave is the, like it makes it look like it is like kind of woven, like one goes over the top, one goes under it. So kind of like this. Like it'll do that one. Edit. Fill. The spiral one is really interesting because you can get a few different effects with this. So, okay, so one, this is just each like piece of plank wood texture is just repeating over and over again to fill the space with a pattern. And you can really control how this looks and get some really, really cool things accomplished with this, whereas it would normally take you a lot of time to place it individually. Now, the reason I point that out is, so I'm going to hit OK with this one. All right, so that looks kind of neat, right? Let me make a new layer. And I'm going to do that same thing, but I am going to do that with the other wooden plank texture, the vertical one. And yeah, spiral. And let me adjust the spacing. Look at that. All right, so completely different look. Whoa. Okay, so basically the reason I'm pointing this out is because the orientation of your item can really make a difference in the way this pattern looks. All right, so look at that. And then look at that, like kind of layered like that. That's neat. And then maybe even like playing around with the blending mode. Right, you can kind of get some neat effects there. So just wanted to point those out because I think that things like this can really help you guys do something really creative and maybe something you haven't thought of before. So just wanted to point that out. Don't forget about layer styles. You can do layer styles too, right? So you could you could add bevel and emboss, kind of make it stand out some. You could add gradients. You could just do like a little drop shadow. Like that's kind of neat. Kind of really looking like a spiral staircase now. So just a lot of different things that you can do with this, and just wanted to kind of point those out. But really quick lesson here with the patterns, just wanted to kind of show it to you. Might be something that you could use maybe in one of your projects. But that's it. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and have a good one.